Hello, the name is Daman Dev Sood, your host for my weekly show, My Top Tips. Every week, I pick up a topic around business continuity management, risk management, crisis management, resilience, operational resilience, organizational resilience, sustainability, environment, or anything that may be of concern to the society. The idea is to keep these discussions within 15 minutes. Sometimes I've crossed, depending on the topic or subject I might have picked up for that episode. For past few weeks, I have been focusing on TPRM program, third party risk management program. And I continue with those discussions this week also. And the focus is on smart objectives for the TPRM program. So making your TPRM program smart. That's what we will attempt to understand in today's discussions. To start with, quickly, what is a smart goal, smart objective? That it is specific. What is the goal? Make a statement about that. Running is not smart because it's not specific. It's not a statement. It should also be measurable. How will you keep track of your progress? And then achievable. How will you achieve your goal? And can there be a plan? Then write that plan, then execute that plan. The goal should also be relevant. So today we are talking about smart goals or objectives for your TPRM program. How will this goal help you, your TPRM program, either professionally or personally? Better both. And the last, the T stands for time bound. When will you achieve this goal? Put a date and go through all other points. SMAR. Once again, refine if required. So when you sit to write down a smart objective statement, smart objective goal, you may have to go through iteration. You should go through an iteration because with each reading, each refinement becomes better. So today, I'm going to give you 10 such smart goals for your TPRM program. The first one is risk identification coverage. And I would like to write this way: identify and categorize. So there are only two activities in this. Identify and categorize 100% of critical third parties. A lot going into this statement, by the way. Identify, categorize critical third parties, not all third parties. But within the critical, all 100%. Across all business units, using a standardized risk mapping framework by July 31st, 2025. So it has been given, statement is written. There are measurable, achievable, and relevant goals. This also says using a standardized risk mapping framework. So before that, before you start writing down the objectives, you need to have this framework also in place because you're intending to use it. The second one I'm going to give is towards due diligence completion. Ensure, we will ensure that risk-based due diligence is conducted and documented for all new high-risk third parties before contract signing. Very important. Achieving 100% compliance. Targets have been set, measurable on a quarterly basis starting from third quarter of the year. Third quarter of this year. So this is a smart on that scale. it will pass. Next, we will pick up is third-party risk register development. Establish a centralized third-party risk register covering active third parties or critical third parties once again with risk ratings, due diligence status, and contract metadata by August 15, 2025. When we say contract metadata about third parties, this is law. So my request is please watch episode 87 of my top tips. So a few weeks ago, I would have delivered that. To see the depth of this metadata or data from third parties, A to Z components of a third party contract, where I covered over 150 in all. So very deep topic. The next one we'll pick up will be about ongoing monitoring implementation. Implement automated monitoring for cyber, financial, and reputational risks across at least 80% of critical third parties. So this time you're not saying all, you're not saying 100%, but you're still keeping a very neat, clear, measurable target. 80% of critical third parties by this date. Awareness and training is important, so I would like to keep one objective around this also. Conduct TPRM awareness training for 100% of critical third-party facing teams. Who faces third parties? For example, the departments like procurement, legal, risk, and business owners. And a date has been given, September 30 of this year, with at least 90% participation. I'll cover all 100% of critical third parties. At least 90% must attend. And the feedback, the scoring, if there is an assessment after the training, 75% post-training assessment scores. Otherwise, this is not achieved. That's what this means. Contextual safeguard adoption is the next measurement objective I would like to give in a TPRM program that is SMART. Review and update all new or renewed third-party contracts to include risk management, audit rights, data protection, and termination clauses aligned with company policy by November 15 of this year. It's possible because we have been working with third parties for long. At that time, we didn't give enough focus to third-party risk management. So at least now when it's being renewed, include risk management and your rights to audit and your requirements or expectations around data protection. And how, when will you terminate any third-party relationship? All that should come into the contracts now. Next objective is around incident response integration. So incorporate third-party specific escalation and response procedures into the organization's incident response plan and test the updated plan through a simulation by October 10, 2025. Test is to be conducted and the type of test also is mentioned in the objective itself. So if you do that type of test, you would have met this objective. We are talking of SMART objectives for TPRM program. The next one would be about metric framework establishment. Define and implement a set of key risk and performance indicators. You may call these KRIs or KPIs for monitoring third-party performance and risk posture by August 31 of this year. The next one, and I'm approaching towards those 10 SMART objectives we have discussed most by now. Materiality and substitutivity assessment rollout. In today's discussions, I'm not going into these, but my course on third-party risk management covers all this at length with exercises, with live tools. My book, my experiments with third-party risk management covers all these in depth. So the objective is to conduct materiality and substitutability assessments for at least 90% of critical third parties by September 15, 25 and incorporate results into the risk register. If during these assessments you find some risks which were not recorded earlier, then the risk register also needs to be updated. Program review and governance. To establish a cross-functional TPRM steering committee and conduct the first formal review of TPRM program effectiveness with documented minutes and improvement actions by December 10, 25. So on the scale of SMART, specific, it is measurable, it is achievable, it is relevant, it is for improving the effectiveness of our TPRM program. We are keeping this objective and time bound. It is by December 10th of this year, we should have achieved this. A cross-functional TPRM steering committee is established. First formal review is conducted of the TPRM program effectiveness. Minutes are available. When we say documented, it means written, reviewed, approved, published. And it should have improvement actions also. If we may say that during the review, no improvements were found, that's fine. But the column, the space must exist against which we may say none, none found. These are 10 SMART objectives for your TPRM program or making your TPRM program smart. If you have any questions around SMART objectives for TPRM program or the TPM program as a whole, or anything about the resilience or related to resilience, please feel free to write to me and I'll be happy to respond to all the questions, queries that you give to me. Logging off. This is your host, Daman Dev Sood from my top tips every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. IST. This was 90th episode. 100th will be a grand event. Please look forward to that. And also this year, I'm the chair of ad hoc committee for Golden Jubilee celebrations of IEEE Delhi section. And I will be bringing a lot to you all from that platform also. Keep looking forward to all this from. Thank you. Bye-bye.